What's up, Willie?
Hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Jimmy. And
Yeah,
hey, Jamar, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Happy New Year.
I'm good.
absolutely.
Yeah. So today, folks, we have Jamarr Jabari as our guest here on the Bragglands, and just allow Jamar to, I guess, introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jamarr Jabari, the host of Jabari Rock Podcast, and I'm also the co-host for Tommy Nation Politics, which we're going to get started back up with that very soon. Um, I'm not really good at introducing myself, but I've been an activist for a long time now, for working class issues. That's a broad term because the working class has no borders. So working class issues abroad, advocacy for working class issues here, advocacy for um, everything from abortion rights to anti-police brutality, all around the spectrum, the unionizing. And yeah, that's about it. And also, I am a musician as well too, but taking a hiatus from music right now. I don't know how people do that.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
I'm so used to interviewing. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just telling Jimmy about interviewing and the advantages there are to being interviewed. So I'm kind of that way when I'm interviewed myself. So if I'm a guest on someone else's show.
Yeah. So. Yeah. What kind of music do you play? Like the genre?
So first is hip hop, and then also going onto the spectrum with percussion instruments. So like funk music, reggae,
that's cool.
Rock alternative. It's hard to give a genre because we literally just played what we felt was right, but it was definitely around the spectrum of funk and reggae. And the band is called Light Warriors for people to check out, and also Southwind Social Club. They're still around. They're on Facebook as well too.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send me those links. I definitely love to check that out. I'm obsessed with music, so always looking for new stuff.
Awesome, no problem. Yeah, music definitely is one of the greatest outlets to, talk about what we're talking about actually, and get people to have more awareness of what's going on.
Yeah. Does a lot of your music get political?
Yes. Light Warriors definitely had a lot of political music, and then we also played Bob Marley, which is very political as well. Same thing with Southwind Social Club. It was more of a party vibe, but whenever we played Bob Marley, it was for a certain reason of why we're doing it. So yeah, it definitely was easy to talk politically and make people more intrigued because they're like, wow, that song sounds awesome, even though we're saying money is the bullet, talking about U.S. imperialism, for instance. So you get an understanding of what's going on while also listening to really good sound.
Hell yeah, that's so awesome. That's so fucking cool. I love that.
Yeah, you do the sound work at protests too, usually, right? If I remember correctly.
If I was assigned, yes.
Yeah.
When I was with the PSL, we always did assignments on who's going to do what, and if I was assigned with handling sound, which I have done for a few pretty big marches, especially in DC, then that will be my job to make sure everybody it like has sound and stuff, and then have the intercoms. We'll make sure that either I'm carrying it or I'm the one doing the chants, so the other person has to carry it. Lot of good coordination with sound.
That's definitely needed, especially in the activism and political sphere, is audio people. So you're definitely needed out there for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, audio, man. You guys got to talk to Finn about audio. Finn is like an audio connoisseur. They were talking about how people were able to record audio back in the day off of candle wax originally and stuff like that. So really dope stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. With regard to activism, you were at a anti-war rally in DC last year, I guess in March, or was it April, something like that. Yeah. I didn't go to that rally, but I was there in spirit. But it was centered on the Russian-Ukraine conflict, and
Right.
yeah, there's I went to the previous one, but as I said, just making awareness about the anti-war issue, and just want the left to be anti-war again. Just some people who claim to be on the left are now have taken kind of a neoconish direction on Russia, Ukraine, and and even some on Israel, Gaza, which is odd. But as I said, I think anti-war is like one of the most important things that we can do right now, because if there's no human civilization due to nuclear war, what have you, then there's no debates about other issues.
Yeah, I mean, if I may, I gotta say, when it comes to being an anti-war activist, it's honestly, in my opinion, I mean, a lot of fights are very important, so I don't ever want to compare fights. But anti-war activism is so important. If you are a supporter of the environment and you're not anti-war, you are against your own cause, because you're ignoring war that is the hugest polluter, destroying the planet, literally. And you're saying, "Oh, I'm trying to save the planet." I'm not trying to like insult tree huggers or anyone, but it's a contradictory to say I am pro saving the earth, but I back every single invasion that the U.S. Supports.
Sorry.
The military is the largest polluter in the world. I mean, they have fire pits that stay lit for days, burning God knows who's what, and that's just not. It's not environmentally friendly. Nuclear study. The fact that, for instance, North Korea has to continue to develop new nukes, because the reason why they have nukes is because the last time they didn't have nukes, we went over there and we bombed the living shit out of. Am I allowed to curse? I apologize. We bombed the living shit out of everything. So they have nukes to show that you can't come and bomb us no more. And that's destroying the planet. There's a lot of things that we could go on about how being anti-war, can not only save the environment, promote world peace, show a better way and opportunities to have trade and building wealth for the communities, instead of taking away their wealth, instead of taking away their resources. Sanctions is another act of war. Starving, depriving a civilization of people. It's just so many. It's just anti-war is embedded into every single issue. The war on drugs, that's anti-war. The war on Black America with the police departments, and that's anti-war. So it's really sad to see how fractured we are. It's like you said, whenever Russia comes into mind, or Israel, there's Zionist leftists. Whoever thought that? Like, Zionism is definitely a right-wing ideology.
Definitely today it is. It is. Actually, it used to be they had a prominent left wing, but that left wing is pretty much gone.
With Israel, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Soviet Union did recognize Israel in 1948.
Yeah, that was definitely a sin. Definitely not
Yeah.
a good idea.
I know why they did it. I mean, everybody felt guilty, and
Yes.
it was wrongheaded on how to solve the problem, the injustice that happened to the Jews in Germany. And
Mhm.
but a country in Palestine was not the answer. Maybe in Europe it could have worked, but not over there in Palestine. That was a huge mistake, especially where to put it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, Zionism is a hollow ideology. It's not a legit ideology, and I found out it's not even really a Jewish
Yep.
ideology either. There's a difference between Judaism and Zionism, and
Right.
Mhm.
yeah, and the anti-Zionist Jews sort of are ideologically diverse. You have ultra-Orthodox, ultra-conservative Jews who oppose it, and then you have, the leftists, more secular Jews like the Gray Zone people and Noam Chomsky, and
Mhm.
who are also anti-Zionists.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, so
It's really funny how Christianity, there's a lot of Christians that are majority Zionists compared to the Jewish side. When Christians back in the day were literally in Europe slaughtering Jews, and now they want to be, Zionists. It's kind of just so weird how
Mhm.
human nature is so complex.
It's
They're
that like new age Christian now, where they see Israel as like this holy land place to start the end of the world apocalypse, second coming of God, to where
Right.
they get, their clothes folded and they get to go up into heaven flying naked in heaven to their sky daddy. So
Right. Sky
I will
Daddy.
argue that Christian Zionism may be the most toxic form of it too, because
yeah.
um, it's just kind of like they're really. I mean, yeah, obviously they're anti-Muslim, but they're really also anti-Jewish. No matter how much John Hagee type say how much he loves the Jewish people in those
Right.
TV evangelist service, I'm like, no, I don't
No.
believe that for a second.
They only love them enough to where they can use them for the purpose that they need them for.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And and people are getting fucking canceled for this too. The so-called free speech alphas all on the right who claim that facts don't care about your feelings. All these folks, they're like, they scream about the college students and their safe space on campus, but oh my god, when they start protesting for Palestinian rights, all of a sudden that's got to be silenced.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought they were for free speech.
Right.
Yep.
And I want to bring up quickly the idea of just half using the definition of anti-Semitism within the mainstream media. When you look up the term in Semitic, it mentions Arabic speaking people and Hebrew speaking people. So
True.
they're literally half using the definition. And I just can't believe that people that, these are people that are in very high places. Very high places that are trying to hold on to the narrative while TikTok users are just destroying the narrative. And it's like, you guys can actually read what it means for being Semitic, and it clearly just doesn't click in their head. You're not anti-Semitic with being pro-Palestinian. You are actually supporting a Semitic people.
Mhm.
They are Semitic just as much as the Jewish people. And it's just very weird that they are getting away with calling people anti-Semitic for being pro-Palestinian, when in fact they're not. They in fact at all are not anti-Semitic.
Yep. Well said. So
Well,
Yeah,
they
true.
are anti-Semitic if they hate Jewish people. We got to remember that part as well. Like I got to mention that so no one be like, oh, he's only defending the other half as well too. He's being hypocritical. No, I stand in solidarity with the Jewish community as well too. as much as I stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. But the term Semitic hasn't been used correctly at all in the mainstream.
Right.
Not only
I think because the fact that people are learning that as well is the effects of hearing yourself being called it by somebody else is definitely losing that feeling of guilt and shame and all of that a lot of people used to feel back in the day, which is kind of nice too.
Right.
But the very notion of people, mainstream political figures, basically using casual language of cheering what is objectively a miniature Holocaust or a genocide in Gaza. I mean, even if you're some moderate person who thinks that Jewish people have a right to have that state over there, which again, that's those folks to sit there and to cheer what Benjamin Netanyahu is doing, basically just the level of attack. 30,000 people died. For what was it, like 1,200 that died initially? I mean, in the past, it was always disproportionate, but this has gone way overboard.
Yeah, and not to mention that the IDF soldiers have been admitting that they added to the death toll of those 1,200. Like they were killing their own people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can't even just blame Hamas because how many people did y'all slaughter? Hamas probably just only attacked the soldiers, which I really feel that they did. They only attacked the soldiers. They don't talk about the kibbutz. If you live in a kibbutz, you are an IDF soldier. You're not civilian, and so they were attacking soldiers. IDF came in, we were killing everybody else, and they admitted it. But yet they still have outrage and they're also killing their own people in Gaza. They're killing Jewish people in Gaza. They're killing Christians in Gaza. They're killing people that are waving white flags. They're like, when are we going to realize that they are not the victims? The state is not the victims. They're putting their people in harm's way with bombing Libya and bombing Syria. That terrorist attack that happened in Iran. Iran really feels that that's Israel, and I feel like Iran is going to retaliate. I've been very much paying attention to that. It's very, very scary. We have a very hostile government, and BB maybe 15% of popularity. He's taking the bite like Joe Biden is, but what happens after BB is removed? Zionism is still there because majority of people that identify as Zionists in Israel still want Palestinians to be slaughtered. They are saying this vocally 24/7. Yep. Sorry, I don't want to continue.
No, continue.
George Galloway was talking about when Netanyahu made a comeback, because I would say I was slightly hopeful when he stepped down about a year and a half ago. When it was, I was like, that problem is gone. Hopefully whoever takes over will be a little more enlightened. I mean, it was pretty much the same policy, but maybe slightly softer. But then that aspect came back, and George Galloway was commenting on it, and the government went so fucking far to the right that even Netanyahu is considered a moderate in that government. That is fucked.
That is ridiculous.
There are people worse than him in the government.
He brought back Ben Gvir. Like, Ben Gvir, for people that don't know, he is literally like the architect of so many atrocities that have happened towards Palestinian people. He's literally a far right radical. He's a Jewish terrorist. He is, and he doesn't care. In fact, the body count is happening in the West Bank, and part of the reason why the body count is going up in the West Bank because Ben Gvir went and gave out weapons to Zionists and told them to shoot them in the street. So now you have the IDF arresting people in the West Bank, and then you also have citizens, let's call them settlers, they actually are settlers shooting Palestinian people in the West Bank. But this is all under the guise because they were upset with Hamas. Well, Hamas is not in the West Bank. The PLO is. And
Yeah, that's another thing right there. Speaking of PLO, a lot of dirty little secret about Hamas is it was funded by the Mossad to actually. Uh, uh, it was a divide and conquer strategy to destroy the political influence of the PLO, which was and still is left wing and secular compared
mhm,
to Hamas, who are a little more on the religious side of the equation.
right.
And I read up a little more on the PLO, and it's a wide umbrella of various leftist groups, ranging from standard Marxist Leninist organizations all the way to social democrats that they comprise of the PLO, and it's a broad, it's kind of like a broad secular church of various leftists and populists compared to Hamas, and that was the idea to destroy the influence by using fundamentalism to kind of do a divide and conquer. And the Israeli government themselves kind of are blamed for what happened on October 7th, going back
Yeah,
decades.
yeah. And there's also protests that are revamping up about this as well too, since more information is coming out. Um, and there's many groups in Gaza as well too, not just Hamas. For people to understand, there's a lot of different groups that have also rose arms against the IDF. So for this blanket statement saying that we'll stop when Hamas will be destroyed, there's no basis behind it. First of all, you're not accomplishing what you think you're accomplishing. You're looking like a monster to the world stage. And the UN confirmed that with how the outrage of so many people around the world. And also the working class and the grassroots confirmed that with the outrage of us being in the streets 24/7, here on podcasts talking about it 24/7. They are not winning or accomplishing anything they thought they were going to accomplish. And to think that if they were able to remove Hamas, that things will be better and somebody will buy that crap. No, because there's other resistant groups that are in Gaza. There's other resistant groups that are in the West Bank. The Palestinians are not going to stop fighting for their homeland. And why should they? Because Europeans came over and said this is ours now. They don't want to end up what happened to our Native American ancestors. They don't want to become that. They want their country back.
You want to know what's actually kind of ironic, bordering on hilarious, and is Abraham Foxman of the ADL, who used to sit there and basically call anybody who criticized Israel, even just a little bit, called them anti-Semitic. And although this is not connected with the current crisis, last year with the right-wing government that got elected, he said that the government so far to the right that he doesn't know if he could continue to support Israel. Abraham fucking Foxman of the ADL. Can
Wow.
you do that?
Wow. You know,
Even he came,
I didn't even know that.
yeah. Yeah, I was like so shocked because he was such a fucking asshole for years. I mean, it's okay if you're gonna go after Pat Buchanan or go after some white nationalists that hate Jews, but I mean to just call anybody anti-Semitic for criticizing Israel's actions is not a sign of anti-Semitism. It's not a sign of anti-Jewish prejudice. Not at all. Not at all. On the left, I would say it goes against being a leftist to hate anybody. So that's just one of those things. It's until I have to die on, because the right's been very effective, in trying to convince people otherwise, and it's just something that I just want to fight the right and defeat them in these straw mans that they create. That a lot of people sit there and they still believe these 1993 Rush Limbaugh era talking points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we are definitely the most propagandized country in the world. I feel that, and I'm pretty sure other countries feel that they are, but I feel like we Americans are the most propagandized country in the
yeah,
world.
we are. I mean, they believe the lies about how evil that the Russians are going into Ukraine, and and you tell them, hey, the Ukraine is actually more authoritarian than Russia ever could be, and there's actual white nationalism in the Ukraine. I mean, the Azov Battalion, and. Even homophobia, which Russia's horrible on LGBTQ rights, but they're far worse in the Ukraine. And so, but the a lot of shit lives want to put the Ukraine flag. Some people who are my friends that I love dearly, they don't see it that way. I think they're sort of focusing on the 2016 election. Putin
Mhm.
put Trump in the White House. They're obsessed with Russiagate, and
People are still believing that.
Russiagate's bullshit.
Why
It's
are
that
people
red
still
scare from the 80s just got brought back up again, it's
right?
all of that stuff that it just keeps coming back. Like you even said it last week, Willie, like history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes for sure. We're just seeing a
Mhm.
whole revamp of that. I'm just hoping this youth kind of gets it and doesn't let it get to them. TikTok has definitely been a lifesaver the last couple of
Yeah,
years.
yeah, it has. I gotta say. I
Mhm.
mean, when you look at what's going on, you're seeing that we are not a moral government, and they can't hide it no more.
Mhm.
That's so important, and I hope people remember this when we're at the ballot box, and remember this when because Biden's over here bringing up January 6th again, like he's going back to his old spiel. Because I'm not Trump, you gotta vote for me
Here we
because that's
go.
all they have to offer, but they give you the same problem but under trans bombs, under gay bombs.
Mhm.
That's only remix.
Yep.
You're a colonizer. You could be a colonizer if you're trans. That's basically what he's saying. You could be a colonizer if you're bisexual. You could share in the colonization.
Well, Max Blumenthal says something very similar that 20 years ago, Christians were going around praising bombings of Muslims across the world and all that, and now you got the liberals, what do they call it, pink diapering. I think they call it pink diaper, where they tried to sugarcoat imperialism and
Oh,
try to
pink
make it
washing.
pink washing. I'm sorry, pink
Yeah.
washing. Yeah,
I like pink diapering. That sounds better. I'm taking it.
yeah. I'm thinking of red diaper baby. That's what I'm thinking of the term. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're gonna get a bunch of women to get pink diapers and put them on their heads like the pink hat ladies. We're gonna start it. It's starting now.
It actually might be cooler than the pink hat pussy hats that they
Way
did.
more memes. Way more
Yeah.
memes. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
Should be a
wonder
good
if the
time.
Republicans are going to copy that when Nikki Haley loses.
I would actually have a theory about it. I think that I think a lot of Republicans, establishing people, probably going to get behind Nikki Haley because as an alternative. Because it looks like Ron DeSantis is on his way out.
Yeah, that guy's a
Yeah.
fascist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a fascist.
He's a freaking robot. Do you see him when he talks to people and then that weird smile that he does? Oh, he's so weird. It's like he glitches out. Yeah.
Very
Weird.
scary guy.
He's trippy. And then yeah, no. Republican Party doesn't have too many good ones. You got Nikki Haley running around with like talking about her high heels or something like bitch, all of us wear fucking high heels. And she says she wears 6-inch stiletto heels or something like that. Like, bitch, no, you don't. You're a fucking liar. She's such a fucking liar.
It's Ron DeSantis is where it's the high heels.
Yes, I believe that Ron DeSantis wears 6-inch stiletto heels before I believe Nikki Haley ever would.
Well, I mean, he actually wears these cowboy boots that
Yeah, I
with high
saw the
heels to
conspiracy.
elevate his height because he's a
Yeah.
short man.
Yeah. Typical conservative.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
that guy, man. I mean, like for Florida is just so interesting to me because you see a lot of these rich conservatives saying that they think Florida is the best state ever, but like even like on the insurance side for your housing, you're paying like over $100,000, $300,000 policy, and that's unheard of here in Connecticut. But you have to do it in Florida, and it's like, well, if you think that it's so like great, well, have you asked any working people how much they have to spend just to have a house, just to live in Florida? What are the expenses and the costs that they have? They only go on this tangent that we're against trans people. We don't want those books in our schools. There's no actual tangible like understanding of how if the working class is happy in Florida. What does the working class think of DeSantis's policies? Because he just seems to only care about what a child said on TikTok to be his policy. He hasn't really gave me anything of a grasp of how he's going to push down inflation, or gave me an understanding on how he's going to, support working class people. Because Jesus Christ, like we are all working class here. We see how much we pay just to eat. Like you go to the grocery store, it's totally different. What are you going to do about that, DeSantis? Or are you just going to worry about the books that talk about Black history and like, no, we got to talk about how the slaves actually learned how to read and write while being slaves, which is it's he's such an odd character. He's so odd to me, and I don't understand how he. But then again, reactionaries are going to react, so I can't.
Well,
I
he
can't
was
really analyze it as much as I want to.
Yep. No, as much news has been coming out of that fucking state for the last 20 years, I am not shocked that Ron DeSantis is running that state for sure. Jesus. I'm pretty sure he's one of those people out there in 2010 eating bath salts, and he's like, I want to be a mayor.
He's absolutely just a horrible individual.
Yeah.
I joked about what kind of a president he would be. He's basically everything that the neocons love about George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, and let's have more of that with all the projected and real fears that the shit lives have about Donald Trump without the comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got Vivek Ramaswamy out there running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to win so bad, so hard. Ugh, that guy's a pain in the ass.
He is, but I love how he's annoying the hell out of Nikki Haley. I approve.
He's annoying the hell out of me. All right. I can't sit there and watch him talk. I swear to God, if he's in an interview with a female, he interrupts her every goddamn time. I'm like, you are such a crypto bro. I cannot stand him at all.
Yeah, he's definitely a piece of work.
Yeah.
I find it very cringy that Jimmy Dore is like using him to like talk about certain talking points, and
Oh no.
like it's kind of so weird. I'm pretty sure Jimmy does not believe him. He's like that kid that wanted to be class president in high school. That's what he keeps reminding me of. Like he just learns how to be performative and how to have a great presentation. I mean, he's a billionaire for Christ's sake. So clearly he became a billionaire off of bullshitting. So if you're a billionaire, I don't believe anything you're saying. Like you got Elon Musk, whose father literally made money off of the backs of people from Zimbabwe. And he wants to talk about how he's pro-humanity when he was raised in apartheid and groomed in apartheid. I don't believe these billionaires. Not one bit. Not one bit. They will not save you. I mean, look, X is supposed to be town hall, right? How many leftists have you heard are being banned or demonetized? Just on X.
Yep.
Yeah, it took a long time for, I believe, Garland Nixon got his Twitter profile back. I don't call it X, I call it Twitter. So, and I tell people, okay, I don't have a problem with Donald Trump or Alex Jones coming back on Twitter, But free speech does not mean bring back Alex Jones, bring back Donald Trump, but go and silence the left. And for some reason, the right wing thinks no, free speech means free speech for conservatives and the right, but it doesn't apply to leftists. No, free
Yep.
speech applies to everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a nickname for Vivek Ramaswamy. I call him Republican Pete Buttigieg because he's a bullshit, just like Pete Buttigieg is.
Sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, he reminds me of Pete Buttigieg. He's like the Pete Buttigieg, like a more successful Pete Buttigieg in the GOP primaries.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to some questions about how, like, your work, how you got started, all that stuff. Let's get to know you for like the next 25 minutes.
Okay.
You want to start, Willie?
Yeah.
Get him.
Yes.
Sick him. I was telling you to sick him like a dog. Never mind. This lag sucks so bad.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Well, for starters, Jamar and myself have. Well, I know you say you're not from North Carolina, but you have a North Carolina connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My family is from there on my dad's side, and on my grandma's side, actually a Native American connection with Maharan and Natue tribe. So I'm literally just been thinking, I'm like, maybe I should just identify as a North Carolina, but I don't live there. I only spent like really a year there, and vacation time is 2 weeks spread across my life. But like, yeah, North Carolina is definitely like my origin of existence.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And you said Asheville and Pine Tops, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I was just telling Jimmy about Pine Tops. It's not that far away. It's like maybe about a 45-minute drive from where I live currently.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've driven and ridden through Pine Tops many a times growing up. I lived in a little small town. I don't know if you ever heard of Ahoskie.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's very small. That sounds small.
Yeah. It's in the northeastern part of the state. And I used to go and visit my family in Wake County and Johnston County growing up. So we went through Pine Tops on the way and on the way back. So I'm kind of no stranger to it. And been to Asheville several times too. But
beautiful city. Mountains, everything you want.
They got snow. They got snow over there. We don't get it.
Really?
Yeah, we don't get it in eastern and southern, eastern and central North Carolina anymore.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of mad that they don't have that many liquor stores, but that's a Jamar, you gotta better yourself attitude that I have. Because me and my girlfriend, we went down there and we were literally like, where are the liquor stores at? We're on vacation.
Yeah, we have the ABC stores here in the state. They don't sell them in grocery stores and convenience stations like they do in other states.
Yep.
So you're in one of those states.
Right? They're dry.
Yeah. I think I've only seen one of those states in SLC Punk movie. That's it. I've only seen that shit in movies. I don't think I could ever go to one of those states. I would kill myself.
There is one good thing about it, and only one good thing about it, and it does provide a public sector job with benefits that are kind of hard to find. So if you get a job there, you do get something. You do get something semblance of a living wage job with benefits that you're not going to find in the private sector or as much in the private sector. That's the one good thing about it.
Yeah.
Really? So better paying jobs for not being able to buy alcohol, huh? Is weed being sold there? Because I mean, I could compromise with weed.
Oh no, I think it's still illegal, right? Like you can do some jail time for that.
What? For marijuana?
Yeah.
Virginia legalized marijuana, but cannabis is still legal here in North Carolina, and they've actually debated the issue in the state legislature. It's like, just go ahead and do it. I mean, it's increasing. I want marijuana. I mean, I want marijuana legalized in all 50 states.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That way we can prove to everybody that the Medicare for all state by state thing could actually work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got to get the first state to have a Medicare for all system.
I know. We
And
tried to bring it up to assembly here last year in California, but they told us they were going to bring it up at the meeting, and then they never brought it up again. And so it's got to go all the way back through the process all over again.
Oh God.
Yeah.
they tried in Vermont. I mean, all places they tried doing it in Vermont. They tried doing it in the state of Maine 20 some years ago.
Yep.
I
We just
don't
got to
know
get
what.
that first state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the first state that's going to do it would probably be Hawaii,
Washington.
because Hawaii
I was thinking
has.
Washington.
You think it'll be Washington?
Yeah, it's just where they have the most activism for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shouts out to Washington. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. The Red Berets worked really fucking hard last 2 years ago. So
Oh, really?
they
Wow.
just kind of got divided with it because the MMT crew doesn't believe in state by state, because taxes fund spending state by state, not federally. So the MMT crew, which is very big, and a lot of academics were like, no, we ain't having it. So the Red Berets lost a lot of supporters because of it, but they're still continuing. They're not going to give up. The Washington Red Berets are powerful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well,
So what got you started into, sorry about talking about me, I do that sometimes. What got you started into politics?
Well, I was a young Democrat when I was little. And I thought that I literally convinced myself.
That's right.
Well, I was young, so I didn't know. I would convince myself that, Democrats are the way. Democrats are the right. They have to be in power so we can have a better life. And this was around the time when Bush was president, and I was hearing about all the things that are going on. As a kid, it didn't really resonate with me until Obama became president, and I was like, wow, we finally had a black president. So I'm like, yes, we were doing it. So I was helping out with elections. I was volunteering with seeing if people are registered to vote, all that stuff. And then when Wolfpack came along with Cenk Uygur and the TYT thing got established, I joined them as well too, and we worked alongside with Democrats. That definitely, it was the Democratic Party that got me involved to be an activist, and also the church as well too, because I was raised even though my parents, they have different ideologies, but the church taught me a lot about sacrificing for the greater good, just putting in the time to help out people that are less fortunate. Honestly, just learning about Jesus Christ made me more political when I think about it now, because of the things that he did. It made me feel that I had to do that. So I left Christianity because I had a feeling that a lot of Christians around me didn't reflect that vision, didn't reflect that they have to be someone that's supposed to sacrifice their time for the greater good, to help out others, to love your neighbor and stuff like that. And I felt that that's what you're supposed to be doing, and that's what I was trying to do with the Democratic Party. The food pantries, the sink kitchens and all stuff. I actually liked volunteering my time to helping out people and stuff like that, and I didn't want anything from it. So learning about what we are doing overseas is what stopped me being a Democrat. That's what really fully stopped me, because it's such a contradictory. And then after seeing what happened to Bernie Sanders, that's when I fully, definitely, the first time around, not the second time, 2016, that's when I definitely decided to leave the Democratic Party, and I joined the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And that's when I got very, very radical, because what I liked about the Party for Socialism and Liberation is that you don't just start like, I signed on, yay, I'm in. they actually teach you. They give you classes. Once you go through those classes, and after you volunteered for a certain amount of time, then they'll come and talk to you and ask you, do you think that you're a good fit for this party? Which is what I really, really respected, because the Democrats didn't do that. The Democrats were just like, oh yeah, come on in. And it's like, how can you have democratic centralism within your party when you're not actually trying to show this is why we do this. This is why we are fighting for this policy. This is why we're fighting for this policy. This is why capitalism sucks. They explained all those things in the PSL. The Democrats, they're chaotic because at the end of the day, they're a bourgeois party. That's what I came to understand. They are honestly the other side of the coin from the Republicans. So I've got a full understanding of why there's so much chaos, why you have democratic socialists here that say that they're still Democrats, and you have corporate Democrats, and then it's like you have neocon Democrats. It's like they all want to say that they're Democrats, but they're right, left, moderate. You got some anarchists, and it's like there's no actual structure. And I learned that a party needs structure to be effective, you know. So that's why I pivoted over, especially after they blackballed Bernie, and I've been a socialist ever since.
Well, Christopher, Chris had just said that you stick the Democratic Party in almost any European country, they would be no different from the center right parties in those various countries, and in some cases, especially in economics, a little bit to their right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. So what got you started into like the media sphere and doing your own kind of shows and podcasts and putting your face out there with your own voice?
Well, yeah, the podcast is definitely, I would say, would be new for about 2 years now running. Hopefully going on sooner and sooner. Shouts out to the New Haven Arts Center for fiscally sponsoring some of my projects for the past few months. I learned video editing and also audio and video in school when I was in high school, and also with the church that I was with. It was my job to record all the sermons, and also it was my job to sell the CDs and the tapes of the sermons and stuff like that. So I learned the soundboard. I learned how to set up mics. I learned how to set up cameras and all that stuff like that. And I also was performing as well too as a Christian rapper when I was younger. So I also was like trying to learn how to do video and all that stuff for like my own personal gain with music. So I literally was always a techie. So when COVID hit and the gigs were going slow, and I was very, very depressed with what was going on. There wasn't that much activism going on. There was so much just stale air. But the imperialists wasn't done being imperialists. Oh no, they wasn't pausing being imperialists. I was reading about all these things that are going on, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I can't just always post articles on Facebook 24/7 and post what's going on 24/7. I need to do something else, make a range. And I started thinking about podcasting, and I started with the Jabari Vlog podcast, and I test the waters. First off, without being as much as political as I want to get, I want to also talk about other topics as like with music, since I know music so much. So I've got in touch with so many different publicists and had their up and coming artists come onto the show and stuff like that, which I was very shocked that publicists were so welcome to that, because I'm like, here I am. I have really relatively, now I have a small following, but beforehand I had nothing. And I was like, these guys really just going to throw their artists on here. Like I was talking to people from Africa, people from Canada, people from Asia, all over the world, having conversations. And then I started getting more putting more politics into it as well too, and interviewing activists here and activists abroad, journalists and stuff like that. And I started to realize, hey, well, maybe I might have a thing here. We'll just keep it music, politics, and culture, not nothing too much crazy, but it's still kind of like a structure where I would say like Joe Rogan, where he has multiple different topics. I definitely do have multiple different topics. I'll have someone from the nonprofit to come on, from nonprofit work to come on, since I've used to work for the Palestinian nonprofit, Life of My Days. They are dissolved in America, but the Palestinian nonprofit is still in Jordan. Shouts out to Life of My Days in Jordan. They do a lot of great work. So I had the leader, the founder of that nonprofit come on my show as well too. So started to realize I had a lot of different connections with a lot of different people from around the world, because I was worried about that I had enough space to have guests on. And honestly, it was more organic since I knew so many people. And I think because of the connections I have made throughout the years of being an activist and a musician, I had the opportunity to actually bring on people and bring in insight in a small platform where someone could just stumble upon while they're being lied to with somebody on the teleprompter the whole time. Then maybe they could find a small working class alternative that will not give you anything because of personal gain, but because the passion is to give out the truth. So yeah, that's how Jabari Vok podcast started, and hopefully it will continue on.
Yeah. Got anything to say,
Yeah.
Willie?
Tommy Nation politics. Tell me how you got involved with Tommy Nation politics. That's how we met.
Yeah, well, I saw Tommy screaming at somebody. I came across some of his posts. And I looked this guy up on, he doesn't even know this. I looked this guy up on YouTube, and at first I thought he was just like a historian, because his earlier work, he actually had like little animations, and then reading about the Constitution, reading about how the country was back in the day. Like very. I haven't met anyone on the left that believes strongly into the American dream like Tommy Nation does. He's a true, what I will use the term as a true patriot lefty. He's very, very in allegiance to this country, but he also has no problem with calling out the bullshit and how capitalism sucks. But he definitely strikes me as a different individual. So I was like, who is this guy? And then he asked me to come on the show. And this is around the time when he had conservatives on the show, and he was arguing with them and telling them that you're weird. Like, why do you believe that, bro? Like, you believe that? Like, you think immigrants are just okay, whatever. Like, this is what he was doing. Like, he was just giving out content on trying to tell these conservatives that, like, you gotta chill. Like, so that intrigued me. So I came on the show again, and then we ended up like texting, being friends, and then later on met you. And when I started co-hosting and stuff like that, and then that's how it went down. We just started vibing, and we definitely have two different ideologies. I'm more of a socialist, and he's more of a progressive. He's more of a progressive and still believes in this country. Me, I really, I'm at the point where I would like for my Native American ancestors to have their sovereignty back, and every Native American settlement that's still around to have their sovereignty back, and let America break apart and have natives govern the country once again. That's where I'm at. I don't know how far on the spectrum he is, but we definitely vibe where we can challenge each other on ideas and also agree on a lot of things. I think he's a really, really good fit, a yin and yang in a way when it comes to me and him on that show.
Yeah, I sort of noticed it kind of I sort of like the difference you said. I see you more as a Leninist, and I see him more as a social democrat. But
Yeah.
yeah, but y'all do have a great chemistry on your show. So and I'm a fan.
Oh, thanks. Will. I'm a fan of yours and Jimmy show too.
Thanks.
You guys give me have a good content.
It's all Willie. He's the best.
No, I know Jimmy makes the show.
I'm just comedic relief. I'm just comedic relief.
Yeah. Now
That's
Jimmy
it.
makes the show, so but no, yeah, we're proud of the work we've done here with Bragglands and everything, and just and this is what it's all about. This space here to try to reach out to like-minded people in this independent space because we're kind of shut out of the system by
Oh yeah.
people and shut out of the system in general, and people fall for the corporate media perspective, whether it comes from Fox News or the shit livery of MSNBC. I mean, and that is all they have to offer.
Right.
We need to offer something else better.
Right.
You know.
And we're
Yeah.
definitely making an impact because even small platforms are being attacked. I mean, I just got a message from Instagram that they are threatening to no longer monetize me anymore, and I think that's because I got into a spat with some Zionists yesterday. It's a coincidence how that happened, and I post everything pro-Palestinian on there, so I might be demonetized on IG. They already got me on Facebook. The only thing that's surviving right now is Twitter and Spotify for me. It's
Well,
the only thing.
Damn.
you talk about Russia, or talk about Palestine, or talk about Julian Assange. Those are the big three right there, where they'll try to demonetize or in some case shut you down.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. And I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Well,
TikTok seems to be okay for right now. For right now, I noticed that the likes are a lot less. I'm trying to grow, but you know,
yeah,
it's they're coming for us. Get prepared, guys. But keep
Mm-hmm.
going. Don't
Mm-hmm.
stop.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is why.
exactly. I think there was like a saying that I just heard on Twitter or on TikTok recently. The revolution is not going to be televised. It's going to be tweeted.
Right.
This
Yep.
is
Right.
why we have to use other platforms as well, Twitch. And I don't use Rumble as much as I need to because Rumble's kind of a pain in the ass to
Yeah, I
do.
can't wait till
I
they
wish I
fix
could
that.
just stream as easily as I do Twitch
Oh,
and
yeah.
Right.
YouTube.
Rumble's a whole nother beast. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would love to use Rumble, but they need to make it more user friendly.
Yeah.
I hope they get there because I watch Fault Lines and I also watch Manila Chan. Shouts out to Manila Chan. I had her on the show once. She's a really great journalist. And they do live and it's hard to like keep up because the lag and then the mics start sounding like they're in the elevator or underwater or something. It's definitely something they need to fix if they're going to compete with YouTube. Rumble has a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. And the UI for the chat too is horrible if you're on phone. Oh, it's just
Oh God,
impossible to use. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not one of those that not going to touch Rumble because they have some obnoxious right wingers up there. I mean, you got obnoxious right
They got
wingers
some
on
crazies.
YouTube. I mean, you
The
got
flat
Is that
earthers are
where
making
they?
a comeback.
Yeah. Is that where all the YouTubers from 2015 went? I was wondering where they all went to. Damn.
yeah,
The
so, yeah,
flat earthers are back, baby.
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
And
They
you
got
got
new ones too. DeSantis and high heels, man. They are just keep it going. That's just as important as flat Earth. I'm telling you.
Right?
exactly. Yeah. So, where can we find you? Well, I mean, for our audience, where can we find you online?
Yeah. You can find me. I'll send you my link. I am on every single thing that I could get my hands on. Every single platform, podcast wise, wherever you find your podcast, I am on there. And if there is a place that you don't see me on there, please tell me. I will make sure that I am on that too, because I'm trying to make sure that I'm on everything.
Hell yeah.
Especially learning that I might be shut down from IG really soon. So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm starting to get a Reddit. I have the Reddit up soon. TikTok. I have a huge following on TikTok right now. That TikTok will be mostly political, very political, but there's also here and there posts about musical artists that I have interviewed. But on TikTok, compared to all the other platforms, I actually talk about certain topics within a 1 minute 30 to 3 minute segment. So I don't you don't see a lot of the podcast content on there. You see a lot of just TikTok rails on there, talking about a lot of different topics. And I definitely love the TikTok following. These people, I can literally just message them and be like, hey, could you like and share this out, because TikTok's really not effing with me right now. I just got hit with an alert again, and they literally like, we got you, and they literally just repost, like, share everything. Like, I shouts out to the TikTok squad. Like, I love you guys. I gotta say, that's, even though there's a NATO advisor that's on the board of TikTok, that's definitely the revolutionary platform for now, until they go into Silicon Valley, which I hope they never do.
For real.
Yeah, you put out great material on TikTok. I'll follow you on TikTok, and I'm going to start trying to do YouTube Shorts and
Yeah, do them.
yeah.
The shorts are important because they have the most on the algorithm right now.
I have
I
noticed
need to
that.
start doing that too.
Yeah, I've noticed
YouTube.
that I've done like 2 videos. I just not really saying a lot on
Mhm.
Shorts, and I had a lot of views off of that. I was like, okay, that's, of course, when I do the YouTube videos and everything, I can be a little long-winded at times. So just kind of like, I'll meander and I'll olive branch around it. I was like, oh, I gotta stop this. I gotta stop this. So
But you
thank
make
you.
great videos. I like your when you drop randomly. I like that. I'm like, what is
That's
Willie on now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I love it so much, but it's so random that he's like, it's hard to get a good consistent growth over the couple of years but with going random. So I get like so frustrated with him when he goes live. I'm like, you didn't let anybody know, Willie. But then it's how Willie is, and I fucking love it at the same time. So at most of the time, I'm just like, you're awesome, Willie. I'm here. Present for the video this time. Can't promise next time.
Yeah, but have you, Jamar? Have you seen her show? What, when it was on the air?
Oh God,
That was good.
Wait,
that was
repeat that.
hard.
Sorry, there was a lag.
Huh? I said she used to host a show called What on KRTD Media. Really
Oh
good.
yeah, I saw a few episodes of Jimmy.
That was rough. That was rough.
Oh, it was. It wasn't
Yeah,
good.
5 days a week, 4 hours a day. That was
Oh
rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no,
can see
I
on
imagine
that,
it was time consuming as hell, but
Yeah.
that's how I first discovered Jimmy. So I came home one morning from work and I saw you on my YouTube feed, and I was like, I subscribed to what right away. I to
It was fun.
KRTV Media right away, rather.
I believe I came across your content on Twitter first, Jimmy, and then I saw someone retweeted your one of your videos, and I watched it, and I was like, okay, this girl knows she talk about here, and
Hell yeah.
and then I started following you from there, and then I still am I subscribed to your YouTube, because I think I forget your videos from
so.
your Twitter stuff.
Yeah, no,
Either
I'm not
or,
on
I'm still
YouTube
going to
anymore.
subscribe anymore. Oh,
Yeah,
you're not?
No, I'm on Twitch now. KRTD
Okay.
Media just kept getting too many copyright strikes from my videos, and I felt so fucking bad. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do my own thing on Twitch. Now I just stream gaming and politics on Twitch. So Twitch is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a Twitch account.
It's a lot easier recommendations to get up to affiliate. And yeah, I mean, it is Bezos money, but if your friends already have Amazon accounts, they can
Yeah.
give their one free Prime membership to you. And that's at least $5 a month from each friend, you know, and there's just more ways for financial support on Twitch than all the other platforms. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
you got
And
like
yes, I will
bits and
follow you,
everything.
Papa Hearst.
What, Papa Hirsch? That's
Yeah.
my gaming buddy over there. He's holding it down on my Twitch right now. That's what we do. That's what we do. Yeah, get Twitch and come follow me too. Oh jeez, here he goes. He's awesome. He's fucking cool. You'd like him too. I don't know if you play games or do any gaming.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff
I'm a
like
huge
that.
gamer.
Oh, you
GTA,
do? Okay.
Wrestling, all the stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We do.
My girlfriend's a huge gamer too. She's actually better than me, which makes me cringe.
All right,
but
we gotta get together and get together and do something, because yeah, we do all kinds of games. We do
awesome.
Fortnite, Overwatch, Apex Legends, pretty much anything that's multiplayer. We're always down for. So
I play all those. Yeah,
all of them. Fuck yeah! All right. Well, Overwatch is our thing right now because I'm learning support Legends, so we're all into Overwatch right now. It's fun. It's so
I have
much
to buy
fun.
that.
No, it's free. It's free. It's totally free. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's one of those like battle royale type games, like Fortnite and Call of Duty and stuff, you know, kind of thing. So they're fun. Yeah, it's good. You get to just meet people. That's the best part about it. Is the community that you get to meet in the gaming world. It's a lot nicer than the political world. I'll tell you that much. It's a lot nicer.
Blood and sweat.
That's right. So we've got some news articles and stuff that happened throughout this week for the next hour. If you would like to stay with us and go through them, or if you've got other things to do, you're more than welcome to hop off too. So whatever you want to do.
Well, bring me on next time because I do have another engagement I have to deal with soon. Right. So I don't want to leave in the middle of it because that would be rude.
Nope. Totally makes sense. Thanks so much for coming. And they can all find you at Jamarr Jabari on like all the platforms, right? It's all the same name.
Yeah, if you search up Jamarr Jabari, you can find me. I'll send my link as well too. I'll text you it, Willie. I got you.
Okay. Well, I actually got most of your information down, but yeah, go ahead and send me if there's anything I have missed out. I can re-edit this and add any additional links. So by all means, do.
All right. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a really good day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much for coming on here.
Long live Palestine. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Absolutely. Have a great weekend.
Okay. So awesome. Yeah. He's so cool. I'm so excited.
Oh, I always enjoy having him on the show. And he provides a lot of information and perspective I haven't thought of. So, and I'm sure he'll be back on the show later on this year several times because I will want him back on the show.
Yeah. If you can you put the link in the private chat so I can put it in the comment section for everybody? Because I would like to follow him as well. I don't think I'm following him except for on Instagram is the only place where I'm following him at. So send me the links and then put the links in the private chat too so I can send them out to the comment section.
Sure thing. I can do that right now. What I have, I'll do that as we go on with the show. I'll send you the links. So, all right. So, I guess we probably should do the regular show. So, do you want to do the first story or it doesn't matter to me either way?
Yeah, I can definitely do the first. Let me turn off this background music because we don't need it no more. So this week, just actually within the last few days or so, the Epstein list got released, and lots of people that we already kind of knew, people that we didn't expect. I know that the Stephen Hawking memes have been like through the roof on Twitter from what I've been hearing. I've seen one. Thanks, Hirsch, for that. But or whoever was in the Discord for that. That shit was hilarious. But yeah, so one in particular who we kind of already knew was on the Epstein list and stuff like that got interviewed on Fox News. His name is Alan Dershowitz. I believe he was Epstein's lawyer, right? Got him
I
like a
believe,
sweetheart deal or something like that.
right.
So what's really, really funny is the video that comes with him being interviewed yesterday about his name being released on the Epstein list so many goddamn times. But what was actually really, really funny was the projection and the gaslighting that he did during the interview for this. So I'm excited to kind of show the level that these people go to say that they, didn't do what they really are doing or have done. So,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to let this play through for like a minute or two because I need to go refill my coffee cup.
All right.
Alan Dershowitz. Professor, you are mentioned in this document. You are mentioned repeatedly and very specifically. It was the allegation against you was that Epstein forced then minor Jane Doe number 3 to have sexual relations with you, and that also you were an eyewitness to sexual abuse of other minors by Epstein. You have been out there vigorously defending your name, your honor, and denying these allegations fiercely. And I want to give you a chance now that it's come out in writing tonight to get your reaction.
Well, first of all, the woman who accused me has now stated categorically that she may have misidentified me, confused me with someone else. And these documents, if all the documents are revealed, will prove categorically that she did misidentify me, that I never met her, never heard of her, never spoke to her. And I can prove it by independent means. I have all my travel records. I have all my television appearances. I can prove that I couldn't possibly have been anywhere near any of the people who were involved in this. I was Epstein's lawyer. Of course, I flew on his plane with Ken Starr, with Roy Black, with other lawyers. We flew to meetings with the U.S. attorney, with the state attorney. And so people have to be very careful about what they're believing and when it happened. For example, as soon as Epstein was shown to be what he was, I ended my personal association with him completely, but I maintained a legal relationship with him. I represented some of the worst people in the world and continue to do so. That's my life. And of course, I represented Epstein. Now, the one point I do want to make is that I understand all the feminist groups and the radicals who think this is the worst thing in the world, that anybody ever had any contact with Jeffrey Epstein. Where are all those radical feminists when it comes to the Hamas rapes of young Jewish girls, sexual abuse, beheadings? They are quiet. They are silent. The incredible hypocrisy of the Me Too movement. Me Too, except if you're a Jew. And I want to have a list of all.
I wonder if he's the one that paid all those activists to have that, because I've seen signs recently of like these Me Too movement girls that are with those signs that say that. So I wonder if he's the one that paid for it. Are you seeing the gaslighting that he's putting out there? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah. And yes, I do. Very much so. And
disgusting.
if anybody's doing anything, if the Hamas is doing terrible things to women, if they are, or if they are persecuting LGBTQ people, obviously I'm going to condemn that too. But Israel does not have a great record on LGBTQ rights. Maybe slightly better, but not a hell of a lot more. They're worse than the United States currently. That says a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Radical feminists who are pushing hard, and I understand that, to get all these names revealed. And I want to know how many of them have ever actually condemned Hamas for the rapes that we now know occurred and the murders that occurred. How many have been silent, and how many, like the National Lawyers Guild, have actually approved of what Hamas did? So let's put this in context. I'm thrilled that all these papers have come out. I urged them. I went to court. I asked for everything to come out because I knew that I had done nothing wrong and the papers would exculpate me. What I only worry about is that maybe the judges withheld certain documents. I want to make sure every single document comes out, including the documents that cast doubt on the credibility of some of the accusers and some of the accused. The public has the right to see everything and make their own judgment. We do not put the country in guilt by accusation or guilt by association.
But by the way, I think that is fair. And I still, like you, believe that in the presumption of innocence. And I don't rush to judgment. And frankly, on many high-profile cases in this country, this show, starting with Richard Jewell, we've been right. We were right about Duke Lacrosse. We were right about UVA. We were right about Ferguson, Missouri, and Freddie Gray in Baltimore, because I didn't rush to judgment, and I had impeccable sources. I have known you for years. I don't really know why you like to defend these high-profile clients. Everybody certainly deserves a defense, including Mr. Epstein, including O.J. Simpson, and you and I had wars over Bill Clinton back in the day.
Sure.
You've taken on these high-profile cases. Why? And do you regret it at all? And did you ever see anything untoward about Mr. Epstein?
I never did. And I do regret having ever met Jeffrey Epstein because it caused me the worst few years of my life when I was falsely accused and I was canceled by the 92nd Street Y, canceled by Temple Emmanuel. And then she ultimately admitted that she may have confused me with someone else. And so, things obviously have gotten a lot better. Now, of course, these revelations put my name in the headlines again. But I've never been afraid of that because I have nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be ashamed of. I did nothing wrong. Would I do it again? Not if I knew I was going to be falsely accused, but if not for that, I've represented far worse people. I've represented murderers. I've represented people who have done terrible, terrible things. That's an essential part of our system. If I don't do it, who will? I had tenure. I had an obligation to defend the most controversial, the worst people. Sometimes I won, sometimes I lost. Sometimes I created a plea bargain like I did in this case. By the way, Epstein was furious at me for the plea bargain. He wouldn't pay my fee because he thought I had done a terrible job because he ended up going to jail and having to report as a sex offender. The rest of the world thought it was a sweet.
Yeah, right. Like Epstein, he said that Epstein was mad at him and about what he got. The guy got a sweetheart deal. He was able to leave jail on the weekends. Like, I don't know of anybody that can fucking do that shit at all. Or I think he could leave during the day and then had to come back at night. That's what it was.
Yeah, when you got money, you got rights that other people don't have, and all of that. The sad thing about Dershowitz is, once upon a time, he was a decent civil libertarian attorney, but then he just started. After 9/11, his political evolution just gotten worse over the years. I mean, he defended, that he was a defender of torture in Guantanamo. And, for someone like him, it was kind of surprising, to be a civil liberties attorney, but also favor torture. And he called Bernie Sanders, whatever we may think of him, he called right now, but he actually called Bernie Sanders an anti-Semite because he doesn't adequately support Israel.
Mm.
Basically, he called him he basically said he was like some sort of self-loathing Jew, is basically what he referred to Bernie Sanders at years ago. And so, just like, yeah. No, he's total scumbag, Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah, completely. Obviously. I mean, the one that got me the most was the Hamas part. That shit was absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe he literally gaslighted and did that too, and started blaming Hamas over his problem. I believe that his name was in the Epstein list like over 100 times or something like that. It was like over 170 maybe. So yeah, it was a lot. It was absolutely a lot.
As a lawyer, he can kind of bullshit his way out of it, make it seem believable, but he's a lawyer. So
yeah, exactly. All right, so I've got your story up, which is a really sad story. We talked about this last week on our show as well, of the top people who passed away in 2023, which I think he was one of the last. So
Yeah, that was a shocker too when
Yeah,
with the person we're about to talk about, because John Pilger, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, Pilger or
Pilger. It's
Pilger.
Pilger. Yeah.
Okay, I was kind of curious how it was pronounced.
Yeah, I've got to meet him a couple times a couple of years ago when I was editing videos for Randy Credico. Right as soon as the pandemic started, uh, Randy Credico had lost his job at RT News and was doing stuff on his own and needed a video editor. So I was doing that for a few months for him before my computer could not handle any more of that because I was using a Chromebook editing like hours long videos. It was such a mess, but we pulled through it, and I got to meet a couple of really amazing people through him and Kelly Lane. And John Pilger was one of the people that I got to meet through digital, not in person or anything, like through Zoom calls and stuff. And he was really very big activist for Julian Assange. I mean, there's quite a few men that I've met through Randy that are just their lives revolve around freeing Julian Assange, and John Pilger was one of them for sure.
Yeah, he and I mean he was a supporter of indigenous rights for the people in Australia. He was, I mean, he was a supporter of the cause for Palestine and supported free speech. And he even, I can't find the video, but I remember when the Obamacare debate was going along, and some of the right wing were saying Obama's trying to turn our healthcare into something like they have over there in England, that socialist nightmare. And he kind of responded to it. He says, "Look, I've used the NHS, and I love the NHS. It saved my life, several times." And he praised the British healthcare system. And British healthcare system would be great if Tories stopped trying to assault it. But as I said, it's still one of the most socialized medical systems in the world, and people ranging from John Pilger to Stephen Hawking have praised the NHS for what it's done. Even Boris Johnson praised the NHS several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to present, or are you going to read through this?
Yeah, I guess let me just do that. Put that on the screen, and I'll go ahead and okay. Let me go ahead and on my side and
Got it.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second here. Okay. Yes. John Pilger, campaigning journalist, dies at the age of 84. The renowned Australian journalist and documentary filmmaker John Pilger has died at 84, his family have announced. A statement posted to his account on X. It was with great sadness the family of John Pilger announced he died yesterday, December 30th, 2023, in London at the age of 84. His journalism and documentaries were celebrated around the world, but to his family, he was simply the most amazing and loved dad, granddad, and partner. Rest in peace. And says here is he talks about, I guess it's a Twitter tweet there.
Yeah.
Yep. And he done the documentary on the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia as well. And I mean, he's as I said, okay. Yeah, so I guess it reads a little more. Throughout his career, Throughout his career, Pilger was a strong critic of Western foreign policy and his native country's treatment of indigenous Australians. In his last column for The Guardian in 2015, he condemned how the Aborigines are to be driven from homelands where their communities have lived for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Born in Bondet, New South Wales, Pilger was relocated to the UK in the 1960s, where he went on to work with for the Daily Mirror, ITV's former investigative program, World in Actions and Reuters. He covered conflicts in Vietnam, Cambodia, Bangladesh, and Biafra, and was named the Journalist of the Year in 1967 and 1979. Pilger has succeeded had a successful career in documentary filmmaking, creating more than 50 films and winning a number of accolades, including honors at the Baltus. I cannot see that word too much, just in small writings. In 1979, the ITV film Year Zero, The Silent Death of Cambodia, revealed the extent of the ruling Khmer Rouge crimes. Pilger won an Emmy Award for his 1990 follow-up ITV documentary, Cambodia, The Betrayed. Pilger Pilger also made the 1974 ITV documentary, Thalidomide, the 95 We Fought, about the campaign for compensation of children after concerns were raised about the birth defects with expectant mothers when they took the drug. Let's see. Kevin Ligo, the managing director of media entertainment at ITV, said John was a great campaign. Was a
giant of campaigning journalism.
Yes. He had a clear, it's in small print. He had a clear and distinguished filmmaking career. His documentaries were engaging, challenging, and was always very watchable.
They really were, though. He did some really good documentaries. You don't have to read the whole thing if you don't want to.
Yeah. Gave everybody kind of a rough idea about John Pilger.
Yep, he received a Sophie Prize for 30 years of uncovering the lies and propaganda of the powerful, especially as they relate to wars, conflict of interest, and economic exploitation of people and natural resources. He was a vocal supporter of Julian Assange, visited WikiLeaks founder in Ecuador embassy in London where he sought asylum. He supported Assange with Roger Waters. Roger Waters says, "I miss you, my friend. What a great man you were. We will carry you in our hearts forever. You will always be there to give us strength." He's survived by his 2 children. It's just a really, really sad time losing another good one.
Yeah, I mean, we celebrated with Henry Kissinger. I guess we had to.
We got that one.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, rest in peace, John Pilger.
Yeah, it was really, really sad. All right. So my next one, I'm trying to skip through because we don't have a lot of time. So I want to get to some of my favorite ones. This was kind of a fun one. I was really excited to see this. This went all over the news and was super trending on Twitter this week. Was Tetris, the game, has finally been beaten, and it is by a 13-year-old kid. And it is absolutely amazing to watch this little kid beat this record, this world record's never been beaten, actually never thought could be beaten. It's absolutely incredible. It was really, really cool to see. I'm just so happy to see something good in the news instead of all this doom scrolling. So this made me very, very happy this week to watch.
Even Tetris, the simple building game of falling bricks,
square, rectangle, trapezoid, tetrazoid,
has captured hearts and minds.
Tetris challenges the mind and puzzles the imagination.
And popular culture.
The Chevrolet Traverse offers 44% more maximum cargo space
for decades.
This is what all those hours of playing Tetris were for.
Now a 13-year-old has our fingers itching again. Willis Gibson, who games by the name of Blue Scooty, is believed to be the first person to beat Tetris. His screen froze.
I can't feel my fingers.
He basically got to the point where the game had no more memory to actually run anymore, and at which point the game just crashes and basically just ends.
The accomplishment is rocking the gaming world.
All my feeds is just the same thing. Everyone's going crazy.
He already had 3 milestones in this one record, so it's wildly impressive. Just the fact that he reached level 157, I think, is honestly absurd.
Philip Ng is one of the best Tetris players in Canada. He says Gibson's age doesn't surprise him. More and more young people are playing with great success.
I had already thought the limits of the game were already reached. And this shows that there are new heights that have yet to be reached.
What's more
So
surprising,
cool.
the game finished. Was Tetris designed to have an end?
No, the Tetris is not supposed to have an end. So the fact that they got there is, it's a kind of a miracle.
It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game.
His story turned into a Hollywood movie last year. Hank Rogers is responsible for bringing Tetris out from behind the Iron Curtain. Still fast friends with the Russian game designer, over dinner Wednesday night, they marveled at the 13-year-old.
This kid is amazing. What an accomplishment. This game was released in 1991. Like, how many years before he was born is that?
Right.
Though at a reported 20 hours a week, Roger says he's not so sure he'd let even his own son play his game for so long. Abigail Beeman, Global News, Ottawa.
Isn't that just awesome? I'm like super proud of that kid. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, he was really happy there when, and I actually thought Tetris was older than that.
No, I guess not.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Rubik's Cube game. When back in the day when everybody had a little Rubik's Cube. This kind of gives me that vibe.
Yeah. There was somebody on, I believe on Fox, or no, it was Sky News. A lady was talking about how if that was her kid, she would make him put down the video games and go outside and play and stuff. So like there's some, still some of the older generation conservative thinkings out there that are like, I wouldn't let my kid do that. But I think this is great. This is awesome. I'm so here for it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no harm in that, and that's good. As I said, I just thought it was. For some reason I just thought it was older than the early 1990s. It has a very 80s vibe about it. So
it does. It still has like that Pong, Atari type feel.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Yeah. Just
good for that kid though. I'm so excited. He broke a world record. I guess he broke a couple of records. Beat a game that was considered unbeatable, which is very, very cool for me to see that. I love, and he's a 13-year-old kid. Like these kids are just so smart and quick and fast, and like with the hand-eye coordination is just so on point compared to a lot of us, even people like me, millennials. I mean, I play against a lot of these kind of aged kids in the games that I play, and the things that they can do, I'm just like, how do you do that so quickly? And just to see this kid at 13 beating a game that's supposedly impossible. I mean, I could never beat that fucking game. That game stresses me the hell out. So just seeing that, it's so cool to see how much quicker these kids are catching on to how to work technology a lot better than even we did. And my generation was introduced to it at a young age. So
I guess on a certain level, you could almost say like when they said that the Titanic was unsinkable, Tetris was unbeatable. So
Yep, it's that's what I was gonna say. It's very Titanic-ish, but not as deadly.
Like obviously a less deadly form of the Titanic, but it was something very monumental, and that was accomplished, and good for him.
Yep. All right, so do you want to go on to the Tommy Nation one?
Because he's been wanting to have that posted. And I posted it on Facebook and Twitter and all of that, and even on YouTube. So let's go ahead and do that, because he's very talented and very clever in his video presentations.
You got it.
Open-minded, Tommy Nation politics,
propaganda, and lies.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
We might have to play this without any sound, that song is gonna get us copyrighted.
Oh, even though he's singing it, the lyrics.
Yeah, it's the music.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's well. You know what? I can put that down as a link when I'm editing it, so people can see it for themselves.
Yeah. Here, I'll even put it in the comment section right now so people can see it. Do you want to go to the next one?
Oh yeah, we'll do that. And let me see what next story we could do. I'm going to kind of jump around too.
Okay.
It's the last story that I got listed here, but let's talk about Keffels for a moment. Keffels' response to our video about her on the Vanguard, referring to the Vanguard boys. They decided to go and clown on Keffels, and I've been watching Keffels live. I don't agree with her on every single thing, but she's kind of interesting to listen to.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right.
But check this out. This caught my eye. I think one of our lovely audience members actually alerted me to this. They said, "Oops, I think I saw your guys' logo in a Keffels video thumbnail."
Also, I am the Vosh now, so desperate. Gosh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Whew. Honestly, Keffels is like Vosh if Vosh just wasn't that funny.
Yeah,
like,
we're entertaining.
If I disagree with Vosh all the time, but you have to give him the fact that he's a charismatic and genuinely hilarious guy.
No, he's
watching
not.
Keffels, in my opinion, is kind of just like watching Vosh without any of the humor, just like a very dry, kind of sanctimonious version of the same kind of commentary.
Okay, to me, that's his own opinion of the type of humor that he likes. That doesn't mean anybody's bad or good, because I don't really like Vosh, and I like Keffels' dry humor, so I don't agree with them about that at all.
Yeah,
it's
very opinionated.
Yeah,
Seems
they
like-
are.
Seems like they haven't changed much. There's still that back and forth drama shit.
Yeah, they're silly. I used to watch the Vanguard quite a bit, and they're capable of having good takes. But they're so shit libby, and it's just they're just so shit libby about a lot of things that I just got tired of watching them.
Yeah,
they got redundant on me.
Yep.
I don't quite understand it either. Also, by the way, I haven't seen any of this outside of the very first very beginning portion. It actually looks like it's 22 minutes and 50 seconds. So I was like, I actually did not watch this full thing. So we'll be reacting to part of it for the first time together.
Yeah, I also only watched the first 10 or 15 minutes. But yeah, so here's the video.
So
No
is
one
that all we
understands
have to
communism,
watch?
apparently, except for Keffels.
Only
No
I
one
understand that communism is bad.
Exactly.
Wow.
They called me a grifter. Classic YouTube thumbnail. Respect. Let's take a look.
He said at the start of the
All right, got to turn this up.
Oh, this is so
He said at
meta.
the start of the video he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know what I believe. He has never followed me before. And now he's trying to do political commentary on what my motivations are. So, I don't know. If this gets uploaded and they want to have a conversation with me on stream, I'm more than willing to have that conversation, because it seems like a lot of this is being said out of ignorance and lack of research, which,
Lack of research
I'm not
on the
like
internet. Could you believe it on Twitch? Are you sure? I don't know about that. It's on. Oh fuck. First, there's too many commies and tankies, and now there's a lack of
calling us
research
out,
on Twitch.
calling you out for not being an
I'm
expert.
an improper journalist on the history of Keffels' beliefs, but I'm overreaching when I say that the history of America has been pretty one-sided on its takes on communism. You're not exactly a fucking crusader for new information if you're out here being like, guys, I think we should really be worried about the scourge of communism. Like, are you really sure? Because there is no fucking communism in America at all.
To be
far from it.
To be fair to Keffels, I do believe she's Canadian and now lives in Europe. I think so.
Oh, you're right. And communism's just fucking everywhere in Canada and Europe. Sorry, Gavin. It's a communist utopia. It's just like North Korea over there.
Right. I would be down to chat with Keffels, though. For as much as I have my disagreements, she seems like at least a nice, respectful person.
She's fine. I always think it's fucking. I just think it's funny, and I have to continue to roast you if you find an obscure video that somebody made about you, and then you just mauled about it on your own fucking show. Like, at least laugh about it. Like, at least be like, wow, that was a really good joke. These guys are ardent comedians, even though we have
Right.
fucking one small political disagreement. I've anyway, we can keep going. I don't have to.
Yeah, bro. If someone made a video this funny roasting us, I would at least crack a smile.
100%. When Tim Black got us, we were like, oh, hey, you got us. That was funny.
Exactly.
super mad about that for, but I think that they should have
Super
this
mad.
knowledge if they want to do political commentary in the leftist space.
Oh. Well, we're not lefties, right? We're pretend lefties. We're a communist podcast.
We're fascists, Zach.
Yeah, we're fascists. Woo! Everybody who's not me is a fascist. Let me guess. At some point, this comes back to World War II. I don't know.
So I noticed that this went out. The Vanguard podcast put out a video recently.
She got our name right. She didn't call us the Vanguard Boys.
LOL. Yes. Shout out to you. Appreciate
Apple's
that.
new anti-communist grift, and I wanted to hear them out and give my thoughts on what they have to say.
Honestly, thank
Shout
you,
out to the
Keffels.
boss.
Appreciate that.
You guys keep up. Yeah, it was a respectful intro. 10
times more
roasting off the
respectful
gate.
than us.
Didn't call us Columbine shooters or anything like that.
Fascist tanky sympathizer.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of easy jokes you can make when you click on a Vanguard
Honestly,
video.
I expect everyone to make it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you entertain your audience. We're not journalists. Keffels, you don't have to worry about scrutinizing our journalistic integrity. Integrity. See, I can't even fucking speak correctly. And you're trying to have a debate with me about fucking leftist politics. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and reminder, this was a totally off-the-cuff segment inspired by a question from the boss. So shout out to you, the boss, if you're in the chat right now. This is all inspired by your query. With Keffel Shameless Grift, have you seen some of her recent tweets? She's like really going in this like anti-communist direction, posting shit like this all the time. The reason I'm so passionate about the topic of tankies is because I used to be in the Communist Party. I used to defend Stalin. I used to defend genocide. I know what they say behind closed doors. They want power, and if they get it, they want to put all actors in camps. So you guys know that like I'm not a tanky myself, and Zach and I don't really do the whole thing where it's like
we run the tanky brigade. What are you talking about? We're flag waving tankies. We're soldiers.
But I also do think it's really weird when people supposedly on the left somehow end up spending more time shitting on like communists than they do like right wingers or conservatives.
So I guess my first criticism of the point that they're making here is that I am talking about tankies. The reason that I use the word tankies so often is because I want to make a distinction between communists and tankies. I don't think that everyone who is a communist is a bad person. And I agree with a lot of communist political views.
So I do kind of understand. Oh, go ahead.
Cut you off. Go for it.
I was just going to say that while I do understand the distinction she's making between tankies and just communists in general, the way this tweet is worded absolutely makes it seem like she's talking about communists in general. Because she says, I used to be in the Communist Party, and then goes on to basically just say, everyone there was a tanky, I was a tanky. So it makes it sound like, if you're in the Communist Party, you're a tanky. If the Communist Party gets power, then they're going to put their detractors in camps or whatever this ridiculousness is.
100%. And we all know what the crux of this is, right? She's making a big deal out of a small, minute internet fringe, right? And she's basically doing that because she knows that most of her audience is probably dead set on the like Ukraine, rah, flag waving, I hate the fucking Stalinist Russia, USSR, and that's what her entire audience has been conditioned to crave. Bosch, the whole like Xander Hall, like fucking like I put a Ukraine flag in my bio and I'm on Twitch, people that I don't know your name, right? Gavin and I are so only on YouTube. Like I don't give a fuck about what anybody does on Twitch unless they come on our show and we talk about it with them. But it's just, that's the kind of audience that you're cultivating. And it's like, oh, I'm only talking about this like super duper ultra fringe quarter of the Communist Party all the time. And it's like, yeah, do you not understand that that's a tactic of what people do when they want to smear an entire movement? Oh, I'm actually not against Black Lives Matter. All I do is spend all day talking about this like super fringe militant black separatist group and talk about how evil and terrorist infested they are and how they actually hate all white people and want to exterminate us. And it's like, well, why do you talk about that all the time if you're not trying to rapidly misrepresent like a very collective movement like a Black Lives Matter? Or why are you talking about the most nefarious war crime denying aspects of the fucking like deep fringe? Like I remember the first time I found out about tankies, I didn't even think they were real. And this is after a life of being a leftist, right? This actually
same,
like voting and as a lefty and like
it wasn't until after we started this podcast actually that I found out about them.
100%. So we'd already gone through 2 Bernie Sanders presidential cycles basically before we found out what the fuck this was. And when I found out about it, we started making jokes about it, right? We made up the Danny High falling diagonal to make sure that like, oh, where are you falling? Are you on the safe side of tankydom or not? Can I retweet you? All those kinds of deals, right? And it's very it's very obvious, right? I could use a lot more like it's kind of like how they try and portray gay people as groomers, where they're like, oh, I'm not talking about all gay people, I'm just talking about the groomers. I'm just talking about the groomers. It's all that same kind of horse shit, right? So anyway, I think that's if she's like, why are they being so disingenuous? It's because we know what you're doing. Like we can see very clearly that what you're trying to do is you're trying to rally up all of your like pro NATO, like fucking I hate communism, I hate Russians, like I want the United States to continue this proxy war in Ukraine until the bitter end, even though we actually can see pretty clearly that that's not going to happen at this point. And to gin up fervor with your audience, you're trying to focus on a very like niche, internet-ridden, powerless group, and as a result, smearing a very ethical and very sincere goal of people to give fucking equitable distribution of wealth. It's pretty crazy.
Plus, I think that there's been
I had no idea that Keffels turned into a Ukraine supporter.
It's a little bit ambiguous. She in the video she did say that she doesn't really talk a lot about it, but I don't know where she 100% stands on it. I just started watching her content in the last, I would say probably the last month or so. She shows up on my feed, so I do know that she used to be a standard Marxist-Leninist in the Communist Party of Canada and ran for office as a communist. But she's now more like she's more of a social democrat these days. She lives in Northern Ireland, but apparently she can absentee vote. She votes for the NDP now these days in Canada. And that's who she supports, which the New Democratic Party is sort of kind of like a Labor Party up there, like a minor party. It's like if the Squad had their own political party and actually done good shit, that's what the NDP would be, basically.
Okay.
And that's her political orientation. She can be a little shit libby at times, just like the Vanguard, but I just think that they're just cracking up on her, making her sound like she's a drama queen. We're talking about sharing her life of being a former, being a former Stalinist, and she felt compelled to warn people, she did a video where she was commenting on Jackson Hinkle being on InfoWars with Alex Jones, which I saw that video myself, and I thought that was really weird. But the conversation between Alex Jones and Jackson Hinkle. But again, I just think that they just want to sit there and roast on her for no reason.
Yeah, I got into her when she was in an argument with the Yankee Tanky guy. And then I really enjoyed, she came out with a video like 8 or 9 months ago, because they were talking about her being, I think the conservatives were talking about her being a trans and stuff like that. And so she did this really comedic video about how she's not going to be trans anymore, but it was really kind of like a funny joke on conservatives. And I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved her humor in it. And I followed her and I watched a couple videos, and then, I just kind of stopped watching her very much. I just didn't know that, like, since I've stopped watching her, the Ukraine thing has gotten even more and more people have gotten more open about what side they're on. I didn't know that. I don't even follow her on Twitter. So I had no idea that, she had like, the yellow and blue flag and all of that stuff. So that sucks to hear, because she was going somewhere.
Yeah, there's a streamer from North Carolina, Andrea, that's kind of well known, but not to the level of Keffels. But I mean, she has like the Ukraine flag on her bio and all that. And she's she's Antifa, and she's with Antifa, and she and does a lot of good work locally. But but the Ukraine flag, I'm like, Jesus Christ, people. Good people with the Ukraine flag is the irony, basically. But Vanguard boys, they're just a bunch of drama queens, and that's all they do. But of course, I'm glad they had a sense of humor about the day that I remember seeing the Tim Black video where he was actually making fun of the Vanguard, and he kind of roasted them pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It was funny watching that, but
do we keep going with this?
Yeah, if you want to scroll a little bit where she's talking, and because scroll a few more, right there, I think, right there,
where this is not a minority position, and never listen to anyone who says that this is a minority position when so many people around the world are
What? Find them for me. Where are they? I dare Keffels, wherever the fuck she is, to have a tanky rally. Like, just set them up for success. Be like, all the tankies rally around here. If you get 15 people to show up, I'd be appalled. I'd be shocked. Yeah, guess what? You're not doing any coalition building with 15 people. When I went to my local DSA meeting, all right, there was like 8 people at a fucking table. There are way more.
They don't let her talk
people
too
in
much,
DSA
do they?
than there are fucking tankies. Okay, and most of them are more liberal for my taste. Okay, so let's just be honest about what
they don't let her talk too much, do they?
Yeah, and she did a reply video that was kind of long.
Okay, Gavin, they just want to make sure you know that.
Okay.
Why is your whole Twitter timeline about tankies and communists? Like, you seem really obsessed with this, but I know you haven't followed Keffels' career very much, if at all, Zach. But did you have any thoughts on this?
I honestly know almost nothing about Keffels. I know that she's popular and that she had beef with Destiny, and then that she was in that one picture of Destiny and Bosch eating dinner in DC the other day, and then she did not look very pleased to be there. But yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of like, I don't know, it's
Jimmy,
like LARPy. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm sure they're.
I was going to say
So
that. I was going to say that, with this whole thing about who is and who is not a tanky. What's really funny about it is that people such as Bosch has a very loose definition of doesn't take a lot to qualify as a tanky. I mean, when you have people that'll sit there and say, well, Jimmy Dore is a tanky, or they'll say that Brianna Joy Gray is a tanky, or the gray zones are tankies, or what have you. I mean, if you do so much as support the concept of force of vote, they're tankies. If you support Assange, you're a tanky. That's kind of where they're going at. And I haven't heard her talking about Julian Assange much. In fact, I can't think of any video where she talked about Julian Assange, but she might be going a little she might be a little over alarmist about tankies. But the fact that I mean, these two kids, they're just showing what dumbasses they are. The Vanguard boys.
Yeah, it just seems like more drama between lefties again. I feel this is like that one time I said this is so meta because we're literally watching a react of a react of a react right now. Like there's like 3 StreamYard links in our screen right now. This is absolutely nuts. when I see that on the screen, that's when I get to like, okay, yeah, no, this is drama.
Yeah, I was joking with somebody about a stream that when Nikki has her Twitch stream, and she did a Twitch stream commenting on my comment for Progressive Voice, commenting on Kyle Kalinske and Bosch having a discussion about some of the various people on the online left, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, that's kind of stretching it there. So
yeah,
it's amazing how far people can go when one other person is going to comment on another person commenting on another person who is commenting on another person. I'm like, oh no, I became that guy.
Yep. That's when you got to take a step back and realize, oh, yeah, this sucks. It just seems like a lot of semantics. I'm trying to read what Keffels wrote. The reason I'm so passionate about the topic of tankies is because I used to be in a communist party. I used to defend Stalin. I used to defend genocide. I know what they say behind closed doors. They want power. And if they get it, they want to pull out their detractors in camp. Oh, they would put all their detractors in camps. Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like because see, like when I first heard this video going off, it seemed like Gavin and Zach were saying she's saying tankies, but they're assuming that she's actually talking about the full Communist Party when they're assuming that she is, when she even said it in her own words that she's actually just talking about the small sect of tankies, and then how talking about the small sect is actually, it can ruin is talking bad about the full Communist Party in general, which I could see because through his examples of like, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, I could see that kind of happening. But she's experienced the legit Communist Party, and there is some tankies out there that are a little nuts. I mean, those MAGA communist guys were just too much, It definitely deterred me away from even wanting to use the term communist in my own terms of myself when that came out, especially as a female. That was rough. So,
well, Haas can be kind of funny to listen to at times. I mean, when I do listen to Haas Infrared, I don't listen because I listen to it for comedic reasons, because I mean he is over the top.
Yeah, I like that. The sad truth is politics is suffering from the same problem journalism did. If it's not entertaining, it's not worth it. It's all about the buzz. And that's what a lot of these people are doing. As you could see, we're kind of doing it ourselves right now too. So we're not too far from all of that as well. But yeah, it's just how it is. If it bleeds, it leads. If there's drama, everybody's a part of it. So it sucks.
Yeah, but we're better than the rest, though.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to, we can go to the next story.
We only got 6 minutes left, so
Okay.
yeah, I got a meeting to be at it in 30 minutes, so but yeah, no, I like that. My take, maybe it's possible to champion stuff while also acknowledging the atrocities that he committed. Yep, just like the Democrats say, the shit libbers say, the we can walk and chew gum at the same time. So yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bunch of drama to me.
Yeah, and that's all they feed off of. As I said, I got very tired of the Vanguard very quickly. I peek at it every now and then, but I used to 2 years ago. I used to watch the Vanguard quite a bit, but they did get kind of tiresome after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. See, I'm not even subscribed. I unsubscribed from a lot of the lower media people because it just got too much last year. So too much. All right. So what do you got for this week?
Oh, well, let's see. As far as the streaming is concerned, whenever I get a chance to stream, usually the best time is usually I would say on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and of course on Friday with Bragglands. Those are the three likely days I'll be streaming. Occasionally on a Saturday. So again, I don't really have a schedule other than Bragglands.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then us next week again. I put Jamar's Linktree link in the comment section for you guys in the live chat. If you guys want to go check out all the different social media platforms that he's on, that's the Linktree account. So you can just go find them all straight from there as well. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else planned for this week. Except for randomly if I'm going to decide to game on my channel. I think Warren is in the process of moving as we speak. So the secret show should be back within, I don't know, a week or two, hopefully. So right now.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
About the secret show.
Yeah, where he's in the process now. So he just needs to get settled out where he's going and give him a little bit of time to settle down into that place, and then we'll be back up and running again soon. So hopefully in the next week or two. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Oh, absolutely. I've been going to withdrawal Saturday night for not seeing the secret show. Like it's part of the staple of my online life now.
I know. I keep feeling like I have something to do on Saturday nights, or even Fridays too. I'm like, I got something to do tomorrow, and I don't. It's so weird because I've gotten so used to it. So yeah, we'll be back again soon. It'll be fun. I've already started accumulating some really funny videos for when we come back, so I can't wait.
Yeah, I saw a funny video that I was thinking about playing here, but I think I might do that for next week's show.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a video that was he calls himself the toxic leftist on Twitter. You know who I'm talking about?
That sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, he puts out a lot of funny stuff online on Twitter. So yeah, I'll probably reserve that for next week. So anyway, yeah. So as I said, I guess we'll be back here next week, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let me just say this, everyone here. Please, I'm glad y'all are watch it through the Willie Bragg show, and that's great. But please go on the Braggland YouTube page and the Braggland Twitch page, and subscribe to us and follow us there specifically because we want the channel to grow, and that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, I mean, by all means, watch it through all all the channels we have them on, but for YouTube and Twitch, for the Braggland channels, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build this particular channel right now. So I guess that is my request for everyone here.
All right. And my request is for everybody to stay high.
stay high, and free Palestine, free Julian Assange, and free healthcare.
Amen. Free speech too. Amen. Get the fuck out.
Yes.